Hi guys, so I'm going to be showing you how I edit my tutorials for Konnect. So first I'm going to get my materials all together. So what I usually do is I make a folder for each project I'm going to do. So today we're going to do I Got a Boy, so we're going to make a folder for that, which I've already done here. And then I collect all of the raw footage, the logos that I use for the thumbnail, and then any additional stuff that I want to put in the video. So first we're gonna go to Premiere and open a new project. So this is what my setup looks like. You can obviously make it however you want, but I personally like my timeline to be larger, and then my playback in this corner, and then I usually depending on what I'm using, I move my effector controls and source thingy around. That's just how I do it, but you guys can do however you like. So here, the main tools you're going to use are the razor tool. And I have no idea how to use these tools, just to be honest, except for like type, razor, selection. And then for me, I like to use the hotkeys, so I never really click these. And then you have your tracks. So these are your video tracks, your audio tracks. And then with these, you can make them visible or invisible. Or with the audio, you can mute tracks or solo track, which will make it so that this track is the only one being heard, and then any other additional tracks will not be heard while you're editing. And then blah, blah, blah. So here is an important tool. Sometimes if you see that the clips are not snapping to place, so I'll just show you that really quick. So if you see that your clips are not snapping to place like this, they're aligned. I'll show you what it looks like when it doesn't. It doesn't automatically snap. So when you see that's happening, this is probably off. So you just want to click this magnet, and then that will happen. And then this you use to add markers, or you can also press M and click a track, and it'll make a marker right there. And then these you can just use to find either places in your video, or also I like to use them to sync audio, which I'll show you a little bit later. First thing I do is grab the uncut, open that up, and then usually I will also grab the ending card, and then also the beginning card, and then I will also import the audio for the song. You can also do this all at once. I'm just doing this like this because I'm dumb. Okay. And then any sounds or whatnot that you usually use. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a few that I think I'm going to use. I just got a huge folder of memes, sound effects that I downloaded, this meme pack that I downloaded, and then also some clips from our past videos, and also like GIFs to overlay. Okay, that should be good enough for now. Okay, so I got all of my stuff in here, and then we're ready to start editing. So the first thing I do is I'm gonna grab this, and this is the uncut file, and drag it into the timeline sequence. And as you can see, it's like all the raw footage. Okay, so the first things I'd like to do before I start cutting or anything, just to make it easier, is 1, color correct. Then also, if you see it might be not straight, then I'll also fix that. Also flip it horizontally so that it's mirrored, and then fix the audio as well. Okay, so first I'm going to start with flipping horizontally and the color correcting. So you go into effects, and then I like to use Lumetri to fix my color. So I'm going to go ahead and then find Lumetri color, and then this is also going to be in video effects, color correction, and Lumetri color. And then I'll select this first and drag it into my effect controls, or you can also double click and it'll put it in there for you. And then I'm also going to grab horizontal flip. Oops, I can't spell. Double click and it's going to do that for you. Okay, so now it's flipped, and then all I gotta do is fix the color. So here, let's find where you see me in the middle. So to me, this looks a little bit dark and dull. So what I'm gonna do is here, basic correction, and then I'm going to fix the exposure. Just gonna brighten it up a little bit. You can just play around with these settings and do however you like. And then I like mine a little bit more on the warm side, so I'll make it a little bit pinker and then a little bit more orange. And these you can just drag it, or you can also enter the number values as you like. I like to drag it for color just so that I can see how it's changing, as you can tell, like this. And to me that looks pretty good. You can also enlarge it by double clicking on your playback screen to see what it looks like. That looks pretty okay to me. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, so done with color. And then for this one, it looks pretty centered to me. I look pretty much in the center. These lines look pretty parallel, so I'm not going to do anything there. But if you wanted to, you could rotate it with this and also fix the scaling after you rotate it so that there's no like gaps. As you can see, these gaps would show on the video, so you would want to zoom in a little bit after you fixed that. Okay, so that looks good to me. And then next I'm going to fix the audio, because as you can kind of tell,
to the left.
There's going to be some background noise. So what I like to do is go into audio effects, or you can like search it in the search bar, but audio effects, and then do some noise reduction. So I like to just stick all that in there. Obviously I'm not Surya and am not a sound engineer, so I just do it as I hear it. I also like to add a little bit of this multi-band compressor, and then I like to raise the audio gain so that you can see more of these humps. So let's see, I'm gonna just try 10 decibels. That looks pretty good to me. And then usually my standard for sound is that for, I guess, Windows, if you're at volume is 20 and you can hear it pretty clearly, I like that. Or like 30 is fine as well. But yeah, let's listen to it. Maybe I'll make it a little bit louder. Maybe 15?
And then down to your chest.
Okay, so that's it for audio. Okay, and then after that, I'm gonna move this over a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the intro card. So this is just the one that I like to use because I'm lazy. And yeah, sometimes we don't introduce the video nicely, like, hi, today we're going to do this. So I like to use this to like get the flow going a little bit more. Usually I try to make it around 3 to 5 seconds, depending on the song. Song as in like the clip I choose to add in. So I'm just dragging this into here and then making it a little bit longer. And then we're going to add to the music. Whoa, wait, this is 3 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Add in the music, and then just decide which part of the music you want to start with. So I'm just gonna listen to it. Okay, since I like the 시작해볼까, we're going to end it there. Take some of that out. Okay, take some of this out, I mean the front part. See how that sounds. Okay, and then make sure to match it up here. So you know that it's going to be matched up if you see that little triangle there. right here. And then we're gonna put this back over here. Okay. Okay. Since the music is a little bit loud, I kind of want to match the audio level to it, so I'm actually going to make it a little bit louder.
Hey, yo, GG! Okay, today we are learning.
Okay, that sounds good. And then in the beginning, I usually add some kind of little fun intro clip. I might add like, if you've seen like Julia's, I'll make her like appear and then do a little sound effect. Or I don't know if I did this for Coco Bob, but yeah, I put a bunch of clips together and whatnot. But yeah. For this, I think I can't think of anything witty, so I'm just gonna put this thing here. So for the intro, while I'm introducing the song and whatnot, I like to add a little bit of music so that it's less dry. So this one I'm going to add Nook's Cranny, just because I like Animal Crossing. Let's hear how that sounds over the audio and make sure the music is not too loud. So now that I've done the intro, I'm just going to go through and cut out any parts of the video that I think are 1, unnecessary, or 2, cut out parts that have too long pauses in between sentences. Let's see, I'll give an example. So here I introduced the video.
Okay, today we are learning. I got a boy, except no one has a boy in this household, so that's fun. Okay, we're gonna start from the part.
So as you can tell, I like pause a long time, and that's obviously gonna make the viewers lose engagement. So I'm gonna try to chop that up a bit and then make it a little bit smoother.
Boy, except no one has a boy.
And then parts that I'm kind of mumbling, I'll also take out. Like this part where I said no one has a boy in this household, I'll just chop it off at no one has a boy, and it'll still make sense.
Okay.
Okay. And then when I'm chopping, I'm also trying to make sure that I'm keeping in some conjunctions so that there's no like weird transitions between sentences. So like I'll keep this okay or a so. And then when you're chopping these based on like words, I like to go in and make this a little bigger, and you can see where the quiet parts are and then when I actually start talking. So here's the word okay, and this is the word so we're going to start. So I'm going to chop it right before okay. We're going to start, and hopefully that sounds pretty good without the okay. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I see a really long silence. So I'm going to see if I restarted the sentence to see if that might work better for this instance. Oh no, I just started singing. Okay. Okay. Sometimes if I don't like how I'm moving in these cuts, I'll just take out. Here, I'll show you. It doesn't really work in this instance, but I'll show you anyways. I'll take out the audio, just the audio, so you can just press Alt and then click one track, and then you can delete it. And then Alt, move, and then now this audio will be overlapped with this video so that it looks a little bit smoother.
From the part where they go.
Yeah, so in this instance, it doesn't really work because obviously my mouth is not moving in sync and it won't look good. But that's just what I do sometimes. Okay, so that's pretty much it how I do the clip editing. And then I'll show you how I like to do some of my meme edits and some of the zoom-ins and whatnot. Yeah, these are kind of just based on like your kind of humor and like how you like to add things. But here, let's keep going with some of the cuts.
just like that same thing.
Okay, and then this is where I get kind of confusing with my words, so I'm gonna cut that part out.
That part.
So the goal with the clipping is to make it so that the video is ideally around 20 minutes. Or in general, if the choreo is a little bit easier, it'll end up being like 15 minutes. And if it's harder, around 25. Sometimes it goes to like 30. I try to avoid that, but sometimes, you know, there's a lot of choreo, so you can't really get around that. But yeah, just try to clip as much confusing and unnecessary parts out. Another thing I like to do is to clip out the chorus part just so that it's easier to use, since I'm not going to be using much of the other parts of the song anyways. So I'm going to go into Source, Manager, just double click this and it will pop up in this window. And then I'm going to go out and clip out the chorus part that I'm going to be doing. So usually I do it like a few seconds before the chorus and then a few seconds after, just to allow for, you know, whatever space. I might like, you know, wait when I'm like doing it with music. I might like wait a little bit before the actual start of the song, just to give like, you know, whoever's learning some time to get ready. Yeah, so let's listen to this and see where that is. Okay, I'm gonna start here. So what I'm gonna do is mark in, and then you'll highlight. The goal is to get the chorus part highlighted, just like, you know, this part. So I'll press in first, and then I'm gonna go to the end of the chorus. Okay, I'm gonna end here, and then now you have this chorus part clipped out. What I'm gonna do is double click on the source, and then I'm going to say make subclip, and then you can name it whatever you want. I usually just name it chorus, and then it'll pop up here. So that's pretty much it for how I do the chopping. I just go through and, you know, for me, I like to do the memes and editing and like cutting all at once, but you can also just go through and clip everything first and then add in any edits you want. But I am personally lazy and also cannot think of, you know, funny things to do like afterwards. So, you know, I just like to do it all at once, but up to you. Okay, another thing I like to do is add in the card, the little text card on the side, which tells you what part of the choreo I am doing right now. So usually I like to line it up first. So I just remember these coordinates 70 and the negative 70 on these, using these references. And then I do this new, my favorite, and then white, and then I go chorus explanation, or part 1 explanation. I feel like this is too big. I'm gonna make it 80 or 75. Yeah, that looks better. And then you can just check to make sure it looks good. I think that's a pretty good okay size. And make sure it's not too distracting. And then because I'll be changing that throughout the entire video, I like to just, you know, make the whole thing so I won't have to like add another text box and then like reformat it and everything. So let's just go until around 20 because I think that's how long the video is going to be. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the setup. When I go in and fix the text, what I usually like to do is just cut it, and then you'll have 2 separate things, and then you can just change the text by itself. So now that's part 2, then you have that now, and they're in the same place, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through and edit some of this first, and then I'll come back and show you the rest of the shit. Okay, so now I've kind of went through a little bit and cut a little bit of it. And just another thing, while you're chopping things out, I already said that you want to make it so that your sentences sound like smooth sentences and like it doesn't sound like you've chopped any words out artificially. In the same way, you want to make sure that the movement, especially when I'm explaining like dance moves, that you don't want to chop off any of those, and then so that it makes sense. So that's just like another thing to make sure of. Okay, so I have gotten here. My videos are a pain in the ass to edit because I am not proficient in English. I would say I'm terrible at English, even though I've spoken it my entire life. But yeah. Okay, here we go. So I just want to show you how I do a little bit of the movement and memes in this. So here we have this moment where I'm kind of buffering, and I kind of want to make use of that because I kind of want to keep this part where I'm showing like the groove of the movements, but I'm like not doing a good job of explaining it. So I want to kind of make it so that it's a little bit more interesting to look at. Here's one of the really common edits I like to do. Okay, so what I'm thinking is it's gonna move in slowly and then do a little like whoop. So let's just look at this clip by itself. So the way that we do zooms is going to be with keyframes, which is kind of fun. So main things you want are position and scale. When I like to do zoom ins and movement at the same time, I'll do this one at a time. Usually it will be, I will do the scale first because I want to zoom in into me. So here is our first keyframe. Okay, so we're just gonna move this all the way down to here, and then I'm going to zoom in. This is just zoom into how I want it to look at the end. So here we have this. I think that looks pretty nice. And then you'll see that because you have the keyframes here, when I play it, it's going to move to the last keyframe automatically. Okay, so I got that. I'll just move to this keyframe, and then now I'm gonna work with precision. And then just so you know, whenever you change any of these settings, it'll just automatically add a keyframe. So I never really press this button unless you want to be a little bit more exact. And I'm going to start moving it around. So press motion, move it, move it. And as you can see, it's creating little keyframes on the side while you do that. I'm trying not to make too much motion so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm gonna watch it in 1/4 rendering so that it moves a little better.
So you're
Okay, and if you want to adjust any keyframes, you can always go back in and let's see. Go back to this one. Well, I don't like how it's moving past my knees. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay, yeah. So that's basically how I do the motion. It's not as difficult as it might look. You kind of just got to play with it a little bit. Usually I'll add a zoom in or like some kind of motion every like few seconds. So like you see I did one here at, let's see, where is this? 30-ish seconds. I'll usually do one every like 30-ish seconds. I didn't do one here because I was lazy. Just to make it a little bit more engaging. So that you're just not looking at a still frame the entire time, since this is all just one camera angle. Okay, we're just gonna close this. And then we're gonna open up a finished video just to show you how everything looks. Just like how you see here, I ended up, because when I finish my videos, I like to move it out of the main folder into this finished WIP folder. So once the path is changed, it won't know where to find it, and then there'll be an error. But it's an easy fix. You just go and press locate, as you saw me do. So locate here, and then you're gonna go and find where you put. So locate. So it located it. It says found a file that matches selected criteria, and then OK, and then it'll just checkbox all of the ones that you've already found. So here we have a finished video, and you can see how many edits I actually do. Okay, so here's what I was saying with the syncing the music part. Okay, so since it's like, sometimes I just use the original audio if she's like counting or like explaining things, but other times, usually at the end, I'll want to overlay just the music and delete the audio. So usually with syncing music, what I do is find a part in the dance where it, like the beat is strong and the movement is pretty like, you know, on point, or like it hits hard. So for here, I went with this lean to the right, and then I just marked right where it starts using, I click this and then I press M. So press M, but I already did that here. And then I'll go and do the same for the audio. Right now, obviously it's like, you know, synced, but I'll go in and find it where in the dance that starts. And then you'll be able to match up these markers. If you want to make a copy of a clip or audio, all you gotta do is press Alt, select the clip first, press Alt on your keyboard, and then drag it down, and then you'll have a copy. So another thing for when I'm overlaying the sound, you want to make sure that the audio is also at the same, you know, tempo, obviously. So you're gonna right click on the audio clip, and then you're going to go to speed/duration, and then you can fix the speed. So for this clip, it's obviously 50, but originally it was 100, so I just type in 50, and then make sure you maintain audio pitch, or else it will sound, you know, like weird. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, you don't want that. So that's it for that. I do that all the way until full speed, and then I'll add a little thing at the end just to wrap the video if she doesn't say bye or anything. Yeah, so usually for the end of the video, I will fade the video to black. I will make it, you know, transition into this ending card. And I will also fade the audio. So how I usually do that is, we're gonna go back to I Got a Boy. So, okay, so here I am. I didn't finish editing this yet, but I'm gonna show you how I'm going to end up ending the video. So here I'm going to drag this here, the ending card. Just imagine that this is all cut up and whatnot, and then yeah, you know. So then I'm going to end the ending card, and then I'm going to add the music. I don't really care what it sounds like right now, so it's just going to be this, and then the ending card is going to be that. Usually I do it for about 10 seconds, just to let people look at the videos that are, you know, the suggested videos and whatnot. So let's just do 10 seconds, but usually I match it to the music and how it sounds. This is going to be scale 51. Okay, so in order to fade or dip to black or, you know, crossfade your audios to make it a little bit smoother, you're gonna go into effects, audio transitions, crossfade. Okay, so constant gain is going to be, I believe, a abrupt, like, fade in and then a slowed fade out, and the exponential is going to be the opposite, which is a slow fade in and then a fast fade out. And then constant power is just going to be like, you know, the same speed of fade in and fade out. So here, you can just play with whatever one you like. So I'm just going to do constant. I like constant. I'm going to put it on here and on the end. Okay, so once you have this, you're gonna see that in your keyframe little thingy is that you can play with where your crossfade's gonna overlap. So this is your crossfade right here in the middle, and these are the two clips. So here I want to make it so that it bleeds over. It like kind of mixes together. So if it looks like this, it's just gonna like fade this part of the audio and not this part. So I want it to fade out of here and also fade in here. So I'm gonna take this and then do this a little bit. And then you can also do the same on this. So just do this. You can adjust where you want your words to end and whatnot. You can also drag it around. So for the video transition, I'm going to go into video transitions and then dissolve. Cross dissolve will mix these two footages together, these two clips together. And then I like dip to black at the end, which will just make it fade to black, as you can see. Or if you wanted to, you could here dip this to black or white, whichever you like. It'll dip to black and then it will fade back into this clip. But I like cross dissolve, so we are going to do cross dissolve. And then the same goes for here. You can fix how the dissolving looks. Here. Let's do with this. You can move it around, play it around, make it a little bit longer. Do whatever you like. Okay. That's it for the transitions, I believe. Let's pretend that we are done with the entire video, which I am obviously not. And we're gonna export it. So in order to export it, we're gonna go to File, and then Export, and then Export Media. Or you can press Ctrl-M if you want, for PC. And then you wanna make sure that your format is at H.264, which will export basically to MP4. This one is the best for YouTube, I believe. If your file is like super big and like it's not exporting or whatever for you, you can always lower the bitrate. You don't want to do adaptive because that one's kind of big brain. So you want to either do high or medium if you want to do like a little bit lower quality, but I usually just do high for tutorials. And then you can change the output name. And then you want to make sure that it is exporting the entire sequence, or if your sequence in and out is already set to the entire sequence, then that works too. Or also just like, export one part of the video. You don't want that. And then you want to press export, which I'm obviously not going to do right now since I'm not done. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I do for editing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or message me privately. But yeah, obviously you don't have to use Adobe for your editing, but this is just like the gist of how I do my editing flow. And obviously I'm not a professional, this is just how I like to do it. But yeah, thank you for watching. And